Hey guys, Adam from Blue Line here. I've got another hack for you for fly tying. Today, we're going to be talking about hackle pliers. So, I used to never use hackle pliers. I always hated them because they'd break my hackle, they'd cut stuff, they just sucked and they weren't good. But, I'm going to show you guys a tip today that I learned a little while back, kind of modified my hackle pliers, and now I love them. Love working with them, love using them, they're great. So, follow along, we're going to help you love your hackle pliers more. We're gearing up for Short Bus Volume 3. I just got a bunch of loon gear. I've got these awesome loon hackle pliers that they just sent us. Absolutely love these. But I'm going to teach you how to make these things awesome. So, first step, reason that I hate hackle pliers, number one, is a lot of them are really rough and sharp on these edges right here. And it really makes it where they cut my hackle pretty frequently, or even using like really thin threads, something like that. They just have never really worked well for me. So what we're going to do is I have a stretch of surgical tubing. Now, what I've found to work best, and with most hackle pliers, this size has worked for me. It is a 2mm inner diameter, 4mm outer diameter. If you hop over on Amazon, wherever you like to purchase things from, you search surgical tubing, try to find one with roughly those same dimensions. That's worked for these loon ones. It's worked for multiple other hackle pliers that I've tried it on. So give that a shot. First things first, we're going to kind of measure out how long we need to cut a piece for our hackle pliers. So looks like, well, maybe step one, we should straighten this up. I don't know what I was doing last with this, but it definitely wasn't a good cut. Alright, so kind of got it marked right here. Cut just a little thin strip of this tubing. We're going to add this tubing onto the outside of the hackle pliers. Most of these hackle pliers open the same way. Give them a push, and then push the jaws in opposite directions to get them to open. Now, once you got them open, it's a lot easier to work with these. So, some hackle pliers are almost smooth on one side and will be ribbed or rigid on the other. Both of these sides on these loon ones feel like they're about the same. It kind of feels like a metal file almost, which would be super great for gripping stuff, but also could be a little too abrasive for some of the stuff that we work with. So, I'm going to take this piece of plastic tubing, or surgical tubing. And it's not the most fun job in the world, but you want to just start gradually working this tubing over one of the sides. If yours are about the same on either side, just you can pick a side, or if yours is kind of flat or just maybe ribbed or flat on one edge, but kind of textured on the other, do it on the side that it's flat. There's just some B-roll of Adam struggling with surgical tubing. All right. Now that you've got your surgical tubing over one of the edges or one of the sides of the hackle pliers, next thing to do is just kind of put them... Oh, hold on. It's not all the way down yet. Well, guys, now that you've got your tubing over that piece, this one's actually about as far as it's going to go. So I'm going to take my scissors again, just come in here and trim it as close to that metal as you can. Just going to clean it up just a hair so it's not sticking over much, and that's perfect. So I'm going to trim it on the back just a little bit. Just kind of taper it just a little bit. I don't think you actually have to do that, but it makes me feel cool. So before you use these, I'd recommend kind of putting them together and probably leave them for about a day. So what that's going to do is the textured side of these jaws is actually going to end up imprinting the surgical tubing in the middle here. We can see it's already almost starting to happen there. That surgical tubing is starting to feel a little bit rough. But if you leave that set like this right here for about 24 hours or so, that surgical tubing is really going to take on the ridges and the kind of those imprint that the other jaws give it. So makes it really awesome for being able to grab those, hackle stems, really thin wire for doing wraps on nymphs, things like that. Hackle pliers still are never like one of my, you have to have them in your tying desk or else you're just screwed. But I like them. I like using them. They don't normally make it in my travel kit, but if I'm tying at the house, whatever, I'd love to have these. And definitely once I kind of found out about the surgical tubing trick, it changed hackle pliers for me. So maybe it'll work for you if you don't currently love hackle pliers. I suggest you pick up a pair of these loon ones. They're awesome. And then add just a little piece of surgical tubing to the back of it. And this surgical tubing will not last you forever. This stuff eventually will kind of crack in the position that you've put it in, or if you use it a lot. But that's why you get a lot of surgical tubing. You could do your hackle pliers and 3 or 4 of your buddies all off of one little piece from Amazon. So anyways, really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully that helps. If you've liked this tip, please like the video. That helps us out. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. If you like our videos, that really helps us be able to bring you more of these. Comment down below what other hacks and tips you might want to see us do for fly tying. Thanks so much, guys. Look forward to seeing you on the water.